I vote. I vote. I vote. I vote.
Al deze Amerikanen stemmen. Het enige verschil is alleen dat ze niet in de Verenigde Staten wonen, maar hier in Londen.
Duizenden kilometers en een oceaan die hen van het Amerikaanse continent scheidt. Toch hebben deze Amerikanen nog steeds stemrecht. Maar voelen zij zich eigenlijk nog wel betrokken bij de verkiezingen in hun thuisland?
Well, I vote by absentee ballot, even though I live in London. It's because I'm still an American citizen, have been since birth, and I'm still concerned about the issues that affect Americans and affect the world. And it's my chance to actually participate and make an impact.
Democrats Abroad is een organisatie die zich de betrokkenheid van Amerikanen in het buitenland bij het stemproces erg aantrekt. Ook hier in Londen doen ze er dan ook alles aan om die Amerikanen naar de stembus te krijgen.
Democrats Abroad is an integral part of the Democratic Party of the United States, and we have been since the 1970s. What happened was that in the 1960s, there was no guarantee that Americans living abroad could vote in U.S. elections. And there was a group here in London and one in Paris that very much wanted to vote in the 1964 election. And so they got together and created Democrats Abroad. They began to lobby from the beginning to ensure that Americans who live abroad could vote, were ensured the right to vote. And in the 1970s, legislation was passed that guaranteed Americans who lived abroad that they could vote in their home state for federal elections. That is for president, vice president, senator, and a member of the House of Representatives. Reached an enormous number of Americans in London. There are a whole host of people who want to continue to participate in the political life of their country. It's estimated that there's some 6 to 7 million Americans who live abroad, some 300,000 or so who live in the UK. And both parties know that with very close elections in the recent past, over the last 20 years, it's important to get those overseas votes. I mean, after all, in the year 2000, 537 more votes in Florida, and Al Gore would have been president, not George Bush.
Ook in de huidige verkiezingsstrijd tussen Barack Obama en John McCain is de stem van de Amerikanen in het buitenland dus wel degelijk van belang.
I think Americans abroad have a unique perspective on how our policies as a country impact the world. And then we live abroad and we see how that's impacting these countries around the world. And when it comes right down to it, we are unique in that when we register people to vote, we register for them to vote in every state, in different states. So we might register voters in London who are from Iowa, from Pennsylvania, from Florida. You know, we aren't just within one state. So it is a unique opportunity for us to help shift elections and move votes to close races.
Bij deze verkiezingen is er sprake van zo'n spannende race. Juist daarom is het van belang dat iedere Amerikaan, waar die ook woont, deelneemt aan het stemproces.
The fact that you are abroad, even for a short time or for a long time, doesn't diminish your citizenship. You're still a citizen of the United States. You still have an interest in and are affected by the political life in our country. And I think it's perfectly natural that people who live abroad, simply by the fact of living abroad, don't give up their right to vote or their interest in doing so.
Democrats Abroad functioneert door de inzet van vele vrijwilligers. Rob Carolina, advocaat in het dagelijks leven, is zo'n vrijwilliger. Hij doet zijn best om zoveel mogelijk mede-Amerikanen aan het stemmen te krijgen.
The voting process is important to me personally because as a citizen, it's one of the few opportunities that I have to participate in democracy. It's an opportunity to have a direct impact on the results of an election and on the direction of American policy. It is a right and a privilege to be able to vote, and I feel as a result an obligation to participate. I would say to Americans who live abroad and haven't thought about voting yet, one word: vote. Register to vote, request a ballot, get the ballot in. Now that we've got websites like votefromabroad.org, it is possible for Americans to get good quality information and to participate in the election at much lower cost and personal difficulty than used to be the case. So my advice for these people, particularly folks like me who've been here for more than a decade, is if you thought it was difficult, maybe it was, but now it's easier. For heaven's sake, we don't have any excuse anymore. We don't have any excuse anymore. It's possible to participate in this election. It's not that complicated. I mean, for heaven's sake, just get out and vote.
Thank you.
Thank you.